morning, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary and happy Wednesday. My name's Joanne. I am the marketing director here with Legendary Marketer. I am hosting all week. Dave is out on a much needed little vacay. But our week is filled with some amazing guests. The last 2 days have been phenomenal. And today, I have another guest I know you are going to love. His story is filled with history, experience of brick and mortar businesses, and a whole variety of things. So let's, without further ado, welcome Shannon to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
How are you feeling today? Are you excited? Are you nervous? What you feeling?
I thought I'd be really nervous, but I'm really not. That's just you and me. So I'll forget about the millions of people that are viewing us right now. So,
Yep, I got you. It's all good. So share with all of us your backstory. What were you doing in life and what led you here to begin
how
with?
far back you want me to go? Because I can go
Right.
back. I can go back a lot farther than you can. I can guarantee you that.
Not much. I'm a
Uh,
little older than some people think,
uh,
but
well,
all right. So I do know this. You have had multiple brick and mortar businesses.
yes,
You've
ma'am.
been a
Yes,
business owner pretty much your whole life, like
yes,
your
ma'am.
adult life,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So let's first of all talk about the differences between that and moving to an online only business.
Well, it's weird because, like I said, I can go back. I
Hmm.
can go back to being a business owner when I was 10 years old.
Hmm.
I and I know people are not going to be able to relate to this. Maybe you, anyhow. What we would do is go around and collect Coke bottles and
Hmm.
turn them in because we get 3 cents a piece for them.
Yep.
Get about 10 Coke bottles, you could go buy a gallon of gas, and then you could go mow 2 or 3 yards and turn it into $15. So from way back, I think I was driven to figure out a way to make some money, but I didn't go from that right into owning my own business. I worked for other people. I got a
Okay.
college education.
Hmm.
Never really worked in the field that my degree was in, but I had some good success in the business world. I was a designer at Motorola, had really good success there, and then I had a medical equipment business for about 25 years that did really well. I mean, it. We were servicing thousands of patients in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex,
Hmm.
but I can tell you right now, whether it was that or my packaging business or my construction business, the business owns you. You,
Yeah.
you may be the owner, but that doesn't. You just have, like, when I had my medical equipment business, I had as many as 85 employees.
Hmm.
Well, that's like having 85 kids. I can tell you right now, everybody's got a problem, and everybody
Yep.
has their own agenda, and it's a different world. You get up every morning. You get up the first of the month, and you've got all these fixed expenses that you have to deal with. So you start out every month owing money, and
Hmm.
you have all the overhead that goes along with it. Then you have to figure out marketing and sales and accounting and accounts receivable, accounts payable, headaches that nobody deserves. And I don't know why I
Right.
did it for so long, but I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And
Yeah.
so I'm looking around and I see the world is changing.
Hmm.
And I got out of my construction business 2 or 3 years ago, and I start noticing as I move around the Dallas Fort Worth area that there's tons of warehouses being built, and I see that malls are closing down. And
Yeah.
literally, I went to a mall the other day, and out of maybe 200 shops and I'm talking from Neiman's to Penny's to
Yeah.
whatever Dillard's, maybe 3 stores were still open in this entire mall. Everything, all the windows are just papered up. And
Yeah.
I realize it's because people are buying stuff online and not going shopping anymore. I go grocery shopping, but pretty much everything else I order and have it delivered here. So I
Hmm.
figured, well, why not take advantage of that? Or why not figure out a way to take advantage of that?
Hmm.
Because if you can get in the middle of that, you can seriously make some money. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I how I got started. And actually, before Legendary, a couple of years, like 3 years ago, I signed up with a different training company,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not going to mention any names. This is a good company, but after about 8 or 10 months, my dad got really sick, and over the next
Mm.
year, he ended up dying. So I kind of was out of that for a while and decided to get back in, try to find some training that I could really relate to. And that's when I came across. Well, and think about this: I'm on TikTok, and some young lady in Pennsylvania, I'm not going to mention any names, that posted a video that I found very interesting and related to.
Hmm.
Clicked on it, you know, the whole deal. Signed up for
Right.
Legendary. So when I had my brick and mortar businesses, it was driving traffic physically through the door, putting out flyers, having a
Right.
sales team, having a marketing team.
Hmm.
And now some young lady that I've never met before, 1,000 miles away from where I'm sitting right now, did whatever it took,
Yeah.
or was fortunate enough to be able to focus on me as part of her market. And, the rest is kind of history. I've been very fortunate in this business, very fortunate. I can't tell you the difference day and night between owning, like we've said, a brick and mortar business,
Hmm.
and being able to get up in your jammies or your robe, cup of coffee, and sit down and just start working. I mean, I had a business in Dallas, 45 miles door to door. And sometimes if I left at 5 in the morning, I could drive it in 45 minutes. But I left at 7, it would
Oh,
be
rush hour.
a
That's a
two or
nightmare.
2.5 hour drive. Well,
Hmm.
that's a lot of wasted windshield time. I can guarantee you that you get nothing for. So anyhow, jumped in, and I'm no baby boomer, that's for sure. I mean, I knew nothing about TikTok. I had 12 followers on Facebook.
Hmm.
So as I started going through the blueprints and learning more and more, I I decided one day I was going to just do a video. And oddly enough, I was sitting dead still on a highway in South Fort Worth, just backed up as far as I could see. So I shot my first 8-second video, and when I got stopped, I edited it and posted it. And
Oh, I
uh,
love it. I
yeah,
love it. You just did it right there in traffic.
right there in traffic,
It doesn't need to
and,
be a perfect moment or setup or setting, guys.
no,
Right
and
there in the car.
it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it's basically, if you like doing this, and I showed traffic, then you need to keep scrolling, because
Right.
you're not in the right spot. So anyhow, it's been a great learning process, and the support
Mhm.
from you guys is just absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing.
Oh,
So
awesome. I want to go back because this is what I don't think people grasp with brick and mortar traditional business
mhm,
versus an online business.
right,
We dive into the online space, we have those friends and families with their opinions, and they think for some reason if it's online, it can't be trusted, and that a brick and mortar is the way to go. That's the good old trusted. Like,
hmm
we have a brick and mortar. I've had a brick and mortar since I was 21. Nobody's paying that rent every month.
Oh, I know. So you
Except
know
me.
exactly what I'm
My
talking
friends
about.
and family are not paying that warehouse rent every month. But
That's for sure.
anything online is troublesome, right?
Right,
They don't
right.
understand that the amount of overhead that's involved, the amount of upfront investment of cash that has to be on hand
Yeah,
for a brick and mortar to actually survive. And online, we're talking like a couple $100,
yeah. I mean,
right? Like, it's crazy.
it's people don't understand. When you're an employee, you have a completely different mindset from the
Yeah,
owner.
yeah.
Completely different set of worries. Yeah, you've got a job to do, and hopefully you do it. And I've said in some of my videos, I used to pay salespeople a base plus a commission. I paid them a base so that hopefully they do something, and I paid them a commission, to kind of incentivize them to do more.
Right.
Well, I learned pretty quick that it doesn't pay very well if you're paying for hope. It just you're, and I think companies have figured that out. I
Yeah.
mean, companies know that they can get basically free marketing, and it only costs them if somebody makes a sale.
Right.
Well, that's where I ended up with my business. I didn't realize at the time that that's what I was doing, but I had hired salespeople for my packaging company that they didn't get a base; they got a commission. They were out there humping it and selling stuff, and but I knew that they didn't cost me a penny until they made a sale, and then they just got some of the profits. Well, that's what affiliate marketing is all about. I didn't have any idea at the time. I mean, I wasn't a young kid, but I still had never heard of affiliate marketing or how it works or
Right.
what an ideal business model it is compared to brick and mortar. I mean, one time, think about this. I had 85 employees and we were paying for insurance. I was paying
Yeah.
$500,000 a year for health insurance. Think about
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Oh my God. I mean, and after a while, we couldn't afford it. We just, we had to
Yeah.
let them cover some of it and we covered some of it. But
Mm-hmm.
things that people never think about. They want to find a job where they can move up the ladder and they want to have all these benefits, but they don't understand the other side of that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that somebody's paying for all that stuff, and
Yeah.
this is so ideal. This is the perfect business model. If you really get down to brass tacks, this is the perfect business model.
Yeah.
So,
And every, I won't say 100% because there's definitely some businesses out there that haven't started an affiliate program, or at least they're not public about it. Many
right,
times you can reach out and they have something, a program.
right.
And sometimes it's not just called affiliate program. It can be an ambassador. They got all these fancy
Associate,
words.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. There's a lot of fancy words out there. But most businesses have it. You can find any niche and there are products for you to promote. So it doesn't, like somebody asked, well, I need to know what else he promotes. It doesn't matter what Shannon promotes exactly because
Right,
it's all the same process. It's all the same learning. It's all the same skills and skill set that you apply, regardless of what niche you're in. And as you get further along, many marketers, I know Tim is on right now, he's in a variety of niches, right? He's got different
right.
social channels for different niches and different products. And then he also has products on the back end through his email and autoresponder. And the product itself doesn't matter. It's learning the skills and then going out and seeing what you connect with. Would you agree with that?
I agree 100%. Yeah, that skill set is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And knowing what to do with your list and your target market
Right.
and when to do it is just, I mean, and you can't just go, maybe you can't, maybe you can get on YouTube and find the videos and spend thousands of hours. But the way my brain works, I knew by the third day of the 15-day challenge, I wanted to schedule my call. And I had my credit card in my hand when I talked to my advisor. He said, we can
Right.
talk whatever you want, but how soon can I sign up? Because I knew. And again, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I've probably only been through maybe 30% of the blueprints,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew I wanted to focus on affiliate marketing. And there's
Right.
so much more. There's just, I
Yeah.
mean, and you make it 2 or 3 sales and you're back at, you made your
Right.
money back out of the deal,
Right.
So it's crazy that, and from having a business, you can't do that anywhere else.
No, it's
You
just not
can't.
possible.
No.
It's way more involved, takes much longer
Oh my God.
to make
Yeah.
that investment back.
Right.
Um, let alone all the, not just the building, the equipment you need, payroll, everything,
The
property
insurance.
taxes, the whole 9 yards that people just don't think about. Right.
No, they don't have any idea. But
Yeah.
we're pretty blessed because we've got, one of my favorite sayings is, and I'll change it up a little bit, but one of my favorite sayings is the universe is 13.8 billion years old, and we get to be alive at the same time as Dave Sharpe.
I
Think about that. Think about
love
it.
it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. So,
I know he would be thankful and embarrassed, and it's not just about him, is what he would say, because we all have an opportunity. He had an opportunity and he grabbed it. He went after it. He dove into learning more and applying more. And you did the same. I did the same.
right.
Everyone watching here has that choice as well. And man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's,
Well,
you know?
I, I feel like I can do this because I'm doing it. But at the
Mhm.
same time, he took he took a program and put it together that anybody, if they want to learn it, if they'll spend the time and the effort, if they want to learn it, they can learn it and they can do it. And
Yeah.
not everybody will, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your market is not everybody on TikTok or everybody on
Right.
Facebook.
Right.
You're talking to 2 or 3%. And when you
Mm-hmm.
figure that out and you start focusing in on who your true market is, and you make videos that your market wants to watch, that's when things start to change.
Yeah.
That's when stuff starts rolling.
I want everyone to really think about what Shannon just shared. Don't try to market to everyone. You will get lost in the sea. You won't actually reach a single person because it won't resonate with anyone. But when you can dial in your one person, this is my one piece of my advice always when trying to figure out your audience. Put them on, like draw a little stick figure on a piece of paper. Give them a name. What are their interests? What are their fears? What are their goals? What does their day to day look like? Is this a friend you could sit down and have coffee with? How would you give that friend advice? How would you speak to that friend, that one person, and make a video as if you had to make and give advice to that one friend in your life over and over and over and over again? And there's going to be other people that don't like your advice, and you want that. Push them away. And then all the people that resonate and want to be in that circle, you're going to draw them in.
Exactly. That's so true.
Yeah.
You gotta, and when you're making your videos, you really gotta, at first, I was just shotgunning. I'll be honest with you. It was a big, wide pattern trying to make videos. And the more I learned to focus and figure out, like you're saying, if I'm having that one-on-one with a friend and explaining this, and I'm either, it's so weird. I went to see a friend of mine who lives about 6 miles from here. I haven't seen him in 8 or 10 months. And they were going through some health issues, which a whole nother story. When you get to be my age, you start talking about, instead of what's going on, oh, my knee hurts, my back hurts, whatever. But anyhow, while I was sitting there talking to him, I was explaining this to him. I got a text message and earned a commission while I was sitting there visiting with him. He goes, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "No, I'm not." You never know. You wake up to emails in your inbox that you just received a commission. That never happened when I had a brick and mortar business. I would get calls in the middle of the night, customers, patients having problems, whatever. But it's so cool. It's such a different model, such a different concept. And once you figure out, like you said, who that stick figure is, and you make the videos that person wants to watch, they'll find you.
Yeah.
They'll find you. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and then take it a step further. Nobody, I mean, I don't want a friend that just sits there and tells me what to do or gives me advice every time.
Right.
I want to have some entertainment, some fun with that person. So you have to add that into your content as well. It can't just be like, all right, you need to do this, go do this, go do this over and over and over again. Nobody wants to be sold to. Remember, it's social. It's a social channel, right? That's where that edutainment comes in, that piece. And if we keep that focus on how do I just build a relationship, a friendship that's fun and engaging and rewarding to both of us,
right,
you get a lot more ideas for content.
Absolutely. And it's truly unlimited. It truly is.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you think when you started was your biggest roadblock?
I think it's lack of knowledge. I mean, I'm not a dumb guy, but it's all new to me. I think that was my biggest. I remember thinking my 16-year-old granddaughter could probably already have this done, in 2 weeks, where it took me, probably 6 weeks to put everything together, get everything built, watch the videos I wanted to watch. So I think for me, it was just the lack of knowledge, the lack of, like I said, 12 followers on Facebook, and 8 of them were my family, cousins that live out of state, and that's how we communicated. So social media is new to me. And so just figuring all that part of it out, I could see quickly by watching the videos I was watching that it worked. There's no doubt about that. But for me, it was how do I do this? How do I put it together. And that's where the blueprints come in. People think, well, I'll spend the 7, but I don't want to, and that's, well, let's say it before they even spend the 7, I'm not going to spend the 2,500 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a mindset that you just have to get past, because imagine running your business without thinking, well, I'm not going to spend money on advertising. I'm not going to spend money on training my employees. I'm not going to spend money on learning the new stuff and buying new, way back when we bought, then this is going to sound so foreign to you. When we bought our first computer,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you probably had computers around your whole life. I
I
remember.
didn't. I remember when we got our first computer.
You remember the Commodore 64?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I had
Anyhow,
to type. I had to learn. I was really little. I was like 4, and my dad taught me how to take a floppy disk of the game Frogger
oh
and
yeah,
load
yeah,
it up, with C colon
yeah, exactly.
run enter.
Yeah, and you had the old dial-up modem where you would put the phone in the rubber cup kind of a thing.
Under 2 rooms.
Oh, geez, we're old. I don't know about you, but I'm old. I remember all this stuff. I remember when there was no internet.
Same.
I mean, it's, but what an opportunity. Yeah, we've come a long way, and I can't imagine the future. I can't imagine where it's going. Yeah. Because so much changed just in my life, in your life, it sounds like. Yep. Yeah, I remember Frogger. I haven't thought about it in a long time, but I remember Frogger. Yeah. So yeah, I think just overcome the obstacle of not knowing, and then, but it'd be different if I had to go out and find it all. Yeah. Have it all like Dave put it all together into a neatly organized step-by-step process.
Yeah, it's all right there. You just have to decide to.
Yeah, you just
open it up, hit play, learn, and be open to learning.
Sure.
That's a roadblock a lot of people have, is they're really not open to learning.
And there's lots of reasons for that. Some people are afraid,
Yeah.
They're just they don't understand it, and they truly are still in the mindset that you got to get a good job. You got to work 40 hours a week, and that's the only way you can ever make money. And that's just not true anymore. That the world has changed, and being in a position of monetizing that or capitalizing on that is just,
it's awesome. It's
awesome.
I think awesome. There's no other word for it. It's so amazing.
Right.
And just comparing, before there were a lot of websites and all of that. Yeah, I've done the flyers on the car and the mailers. We talked about it with another guest earlier. Your whole thing, somebody walks in with your postcard,
Exactly.
Right?
Oh my God, yeah.
And now we're, so upset if we only have 300 views on a video. I would love 300 views or 300 people to walk in my door from a postcard. Absolutely. Right? What a great opportunity. What a world, a different world we're in, that every single person can take advantage of. They just have to go grab it.
Right.
And now we have AI that is coming in guns a-blazing. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's only going, and everybody needs to not reject it. Don't do what some people did with the internet back in the day. Oh, that's never going to fly. It's not going to disappear, guys. So let's use it to our advantage. Let's learn how to use it to our advantage. And that's why we've added it even into our decade in a day now, of how to use that, and dove into that. So the world and marketing is always changing, but marketing's never going to go away.
No, absolutely not.
Everyone's still going to be buying things. Everyone still needs their product to get out there. And affiliate marketing is a fantastic way for all businesses to not have those massive front end expenses and get that help from the community.
Right.
And that's where we come in. And that's beautiful.
It's weird. Like you were saying, you used to do mailers. We used to do the doorknob, the hanger things on the door, along with 6 or 8 other people's coupons on there. And you were in pursuit of your market. And now if you just put it out there, your market's in pursuit of you. And so you got to figure out, what is it they're looking for? What's their pain? And how can you ease that pain or solve their problem? and they're out there looking for you. And so
Mm-hmm.
once you figure that out, and like you said, you focus in on that, and the whole world changes. The whole world changes.
Yeah. All right. So I know we had a video that went viral
Mm-hmm.
overnight.
God.
So share with us the story because there are some details before that happened that I think a lot of people can relate to that would bum them out and maybe not continue to push and take action like you did. So
Right.
share with us the story around that video.
Well, I think that was like my eighth, maybe 10th video.
Okay.
And the the numbers, like you said, when you post some videos and you really don't have a clue, you're just doing it because you know you're supposed to be doing it, but you really don't have it figured out yet. You're 50 views or 75 views, and you're kind of going, holy crap, and oh, look, I'm all the way up to 28 followers on TikTok. And literally, I shot that video one afternoon, edited it as best I could because, like I said, after 10 videos, you don't exactly have it mastered. You don't have all the little subtleties. But anyhow, I shot the video, and it had like, I don't know, maybe 200 or 300 views before I went to bed. So I had 28 followers and 200 or 300 views. And I remember waking up at, I don't know, I'm a weird guy. I work my life, so I wake up at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Curiosity, I looked and I said, holy crap, I had like 500 views, and I had like, I don't remember how many followers, 40 or 50 followers within 24 hours. Well, by the end of the day, my goal, because I really thought at that time, all you got to do is get 1,000 followers, and then you
Right.
can put your link on TikTok, and here you
Right.
go. Well, I went from 28 followers to, I don't know, now 2.5 months later, 10,000 followers. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that video, it's been viewed 850,000 times. So
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. You just don't know. You don't know who's going to be looking for what. Like I said, for me, it's just mind boggling, because I got up and I thought, my girlfriend was asleep, and I kept wanting to go in and wake her up because the numbers were just going crazy. I kept wanting to, hey, I go kick in the door. She's still asleep. Anyhow,
And she's
finally,
like, dude, come on.
yeah, get up. I got to show you this. I mean, it really went crazy. And it can happen to anybody at any time.
Mm-hmm.
But like I
Right.
said, I'm very fortunate. I tried to, by that point, I was trying to focus a little bit more on people's pain,
Yeah.
and then what'll get them to move. One of my favorite stories, and I've got it in one of my videos, is the old traveling salesman, and he's going through this countryside, and he pulls up to this farmhouse, and there's an old farmer sitting on the front porch, and his
Mm-hmm.
old hound dog laying on the ground next to him, the porch next to him, and he starts his sales pitch on this farmer, and the hound dog's just laying there moaning and groaning and bitching and complaining. And finally he stopped and he goes, what is wrong with your dog? And he said, well, he's laying on a nail. He said, well, what do you mean he's laying on a nail? Why doesn't he? He goes, well, it hurts enough to bitch about, but it just doesn't hurt enough to get up and move. And so
Mm.
that's where people really are. They're in pain, but it's either they don't know they have options and getting up and moving off the nail would make it stop, or they just don't hurt enough. So to me, that's a very telling story, because people will sit and waller in pain for years, just
Well,
out of ignorance. So
I love that story. Yeah, and it's almost like they won't get off the nail because they're more scared of what will happen when they do.
exactly, they're afraid. So fear, you know,
Wow.
to me, my favorite definition of fear is false evidence appearing real,
Hmm.
and that's what people don't know any better. They're
Yeah.
afraid of something that they don't understand, because
Hmm.
what they're dealing with appears to be real, but it's not. It's happening between your ears
Right.
99%
Well,
of the time.
and Dave's talked about this a number of times on Wake Up Legendary is, it's there isn't like, a cougar coming in, a panther coming in to
Right,
attack you
right, exactly.
as you take action in this. Like, so that fear that we're feeling doesn't actually match the reality of the situation.
Right, exactly. And like it's all between your ears. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's nothing to be afraid of, you know. But we do it. Everybody, I do it. Everybody does it. I'm as guilty as everybody else. You know, I've
Yeah.
gotten to where I don't lay on the nail as long as I used to, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, I still have those pains and those fears that you know that hold you back, and it's
Yeah.
dealing with those and moving forward, whether you are comfortable or not. Just going for it. You got nothing to lose. The only way you lose is if you quit. That's the only way you lose.
100%. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a choice. Quitting is a choice.
Quitting is a choice, just like doing it is a choice,
And I
you
think
know?
people don't realize that inaction is a choice.
Hmm.
Not
Yes.
watching a video, staying stuck. You made a choice.
Hmm.
And they're like, no, I'm still thinking about it. No, you're making a choice to not do this.
Right.
That's all on you. That's it. Just you. And when
Hmm.
you start to really take ownership of that, I think that's what's key.
Exactly. And you can relate to that because you've got your own business, your brick and mortar business.
Hmm.
You own it. And
Hmm.
all of it goes right back to you, the
Yep.
good stuff and the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, when you take ownership and you make sure things are running right, you put procedures in place, and everybody does what they're supposed to do, it churns like a sewing machine. But if you don't, you know, if you decide, well, I'm not going to go in today, they'll figure it out. You know, that won't last very long, I promise you. And with this business, you know, it's easy to get up and pour yourself a cup of coffee and turn on the news or whatever, but just walk away from the way you used to do everything else. Just let it go because it didn't work, and it's not
Right.
going to work. I mean, some people get lucky and you know they'll have a brick and mortar business that does really really well, but if you stop and think about it, it's usually at the expense of somebody else. You know, you're paying your employees just what you got to pay to keep them. You know, you're
Hmm.
not paying them 3 times or 10 times or 100 times what they're worth. You're paying
Right.
them just what it costs to keep them, or
Yeah.
what it would cost to replace them. And I hate to say that. I always paid my employees really well because I developed relationships and had, you know, I had a good success with my employees. The ones that didn't work out, you know, I would let them know and they would go work somewhere else. But you still can't pay them 3 times you know, what you could replace them for. You know, you just have to, because you got all these other bills to pay too. So it's a
Right.
strange phenomenon that unless you own a business, it's hard to imagine. It's hard to relate
Yeah.
to.
But that payoff of, okay, I have this set check as an employee. It's not where I want it to be. And they have this fear, well, nobody's paying me each week. I can't have that guarantee,
Right.
right? But man, what you can gain is so much more. You get to decide how every dollar that's brought in is spent,
Exactly.
right? Where instead of someone else deciding what you're worth that week, you get to decide your worth of what you bring in. You get to pay yourself based off of the effort and time and energy and the knowledge that you grew into
Right.
your own business, right?
and
Um,
and and it's not at the expense of somebody else. You're helping other people. You
right.
know, you're whether it's a product and you're helping them find it and buy it, or whether it's training and you're guiding them to it and then through it. It's not at anybody's expense. You know, I
Yeah.
think I see a lot of comments. You know, scam, whatever, not
Right.
real, whatever.
Right.
But it's just because they haven't looked into it. They don't understand what they're talking about, and
Right.
you can't hold it against them. And
Right.
some people will never believe anything but that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But
They want to live in that world and
right,
that reality.
right,
So let them.
let them, and they can have it
Yeah.
because you know, even if you're making $100,000 a year and you get a 3% raise, you know that's $3,000.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you make $50 a day as a commission, that's $18,000 a year. So you figure it out. You know, to
Right.
me, it's a no-brainer, and it's just a matter of sharing that with enough other people that can realize the value in being able to monetize the way people have changed and the way people are buying stuff now.
Yeah.
So,
And I think if you have a lot of people over and over and over going scam, scam, scam. I love Kelly Roberts, the teacher. She's
God,
amazing at this.
I
She
love her.
calls out every single negative comment and creates a new video about it, answering that comment. And
Right,
she's so good at it. She's calm and clear and explains and walks them through,
right. Well,
right?
her mindset, and she shares that. She shares how what she's gone through in the past and
Yeah.
how she got to where she is right now. I
Mhm.
love watching Kelly's videos. I learn so
Yeah.
much every time. But you're right. She's in your face, point blank. Let's
Mhm.
go. Come on, bring
Right?
it. What you got? What's your question? Because I'll answer it. I'll answer
Mhm.
anything you throw at me, and I don't
Yep.
care if you like it or you don't like it. I'm going to tell. And that's the way I used to run my businesses.
Yeah.
What's the answer? What do you mean? Well, here's the question. What's the answer? I may not like the answer, but if I got an answer, at least I can move one direction or the other.
Right.
And that's what she does. Is she just, she doesn't have any fluffy videos out there.
No.
She's got to the point. This is what I do. This is why I do it. This is what it costs. It's
Mhm.
optional if you don't want to do that. In your face.
Mhm.
She's direct. She's one of my favorites. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. I mean, and the more traffic, the more followers, the more views you get, the more you're going to have people that question what this
Sure.
is. And
That's
some just don't have maybe online etiquette. So their question comes across harsh whether they mean to or not. So
right.
I've learned that along over the years as well. And so put on the glasses of, you know what, this is just how I'm interpreting it. So I'm going to answer this calmly and inform them, and then they can take it or leave it. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And if
Well,
they get really nasty and foul language and all that good stuff, they can be like, well, not for you. That's okay. Goodbye.
yeah.
Take care.
My mentor told me, she said, just ignore them.
Yeah.
And you got other things to look at. If somebody throws some negative stuff at you, you know the difference. You know what's real and what's not real. So just ignore it, which is what I do. Just don't have time for it.
No matter what, we only have so much time in a day that we can put our focus into,
Exactly.
right? So
Right.
we have 60 minutes for ease of conversation, for understanding, to put our focus into something. I can take 50 minutes and focus on the negative people and the negative comments, leaving only 10 minutes for anything positive, anything that might close a sale, anything that's going to continue to grow my business. Or I can change where my focus is and swap it. And it's surprising how often even I realize, crap, I gave that person way too much of my energy today.
Mm. Boy, that's for
Way
sure.
too much of my focus today,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
when that wasn't something that's going to help my mindset, help my energy, help my business move forward, help my other customers that are sitting there waiting. Maybe there's 50 emails in my inbox and there's one really nasty email that just took my whole 55 minutes of my 60 minutes, and now I only have 5 minutes to answer customers that had a really positive experience and had a
Right.
question or wants more information or want to upgrade to something, right? So it's all in
Absolutely.
where we put our focus, and really think about your days and your time. Crap, where did I just put my focus in the last 2 hours? Was it money producing skills and energy and items?
Right.
Or was it on something that is not moving me forward?
Right. Exactly. But and it's a balance too, though. It's a
Yeah.
balance. I remember I saw a chart years and years ago where a regular graph chart with like 6 lines,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 0 to 10 for each one of the lines, and one of them was like your health, and one of them was like is your mental condition, and one of them was like your spiritual whatever, and you put a dot on that line, and what your health may be great or it may be terrible, but either way, then they took that and they bent it to where now those lines were all going in different directions around a circle. And if you connected those dots, is it a round circle or is it a cam or is it it's
Mm-hmm.
getting everything in focus to where everything is balanced, and
Right.
you work on your head every day, because like we've talked about, it all happens right here, whether it's win or lose.
It
It all
is.
happens right here. So if you're not spending some of that 60 minutes working on your brain, working on your mindset,
Mhm.
focusing on the victories and ignoring the learning lessons or, pain,
So
then
true.
yeah, it was really an eye opener for me, because you can
Mhm.
even see it if you drew a line chart. Some would be high, some would be low. But when he took it and put it in a circle and made a wheel that was not round, it was all, you know,
Messed up, yeah.
yeah, and it's so easy to get there. It's so easy to ignore this part and focus on that part, but getting it all in balance and then focusing on your victories and your market and who you're
Mhm.
helping, man, that's where things change.
Yeah,
If
it
it's all about
does.
me, 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 you're you're going to be banging your head against the wall for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
So,
and living in, like, this victim mentality, day-to-day victim,
yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? It just it won't work.
Yeah,
It
and
won't
and,
work.
pe- and people are, they're also, from during my lifetime, I've noticed, like I told you years ago, I had that business in Dallas and I lived in Southwest Fort Worth, and it
Mhm.
was a 45-mile drive. And I'm going two different counties, Tarrant to Dallas County, And it was like when I crossed the line from Tarrant County, which is a good old boy, Fort Worth. I mean, it's very casual, to Dallas, which is really a big city. You could tell almost when you crossed the county line, traffic just, the claws came out and people were so aggressive. And I remember people passing me on the shoulder when you're sitting in traffic, thinking, if you did that while you're standing in line at the movie theater, somebody would knock your head off. But in their car, somehow they think it's a-okay to do that. But
Yeah.
it's truly, it's the world, whether we like it or not, it's different. You can see it
Mhm.
as well as I can. It's different.
Mhm. Mhm.
And understanding that and knowing that there's just going to be those people that try to pass you on the shoulder, that's okay.
Right?
Just put your head down, focus, get everything in balance, focus, and then spend the time that you've allotted for your business on your business. You
Mhm.
know, don't try to find all these other little things to do. Oh, I got to do this. I got to no. Set aside X amount of time, 1 to 2 hours a day,
Mhm.
whether it's now in the morning, an hour at night, or all at the same time, or whatever. Focus and do that, and the results will come.
Yeah.
If you're learning every day, if you're focusing on helping people, if you're sending out, you know, videos that you have put thought into and you've focused on what your market wants to watch, not just a
Mhm.
shotgun approach.
Right.
Things, anything's possible. Everything. I mean, you can see it. It's phenomenal business.
Yep. I love it. I think it's great.
I do too. I do too. I haven't been this excited in a long time. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
You fight it, and sound like you still have, a little bit of headache with your brick and mortar, but you know,
To be full transparency, I I have moved past that business. My husband runs it
okay,
100% because it is not, it was draining me. It was, it's not who I am anymore. We all change, we all evolve, right?
right,
I'm
right,
all about growth. And I was feeling trapped in that building,
right,
literally,
right,
right? Those those walls. And I just saw more in my future, in myself, in what I can learn, in what I can contribute to my family. Um, and I always had done the marketing for that business. I
right,
had started helping other similar businesses with their marketing, and I just allowed each door to keep opening, and I kept stepping through it.
right.
And here I am today. Um,
It's
Loving
weird.
every minute of everything that I do, helping an amazing community see that you can change and step into an amazing world and start your own business. And this
Right.
is truly the easiest way. And I've seen a lot of things online, just like you have, and no one can touch this education. No
No,
one
no.
can touch it. Yeah.
Listen, another thing people need to think about, when I had my packaging business, we made little packets like ketchup at McDonald's, the little foil pouches,
Uh-huh.
and we'd make millions of them a month. And I had a customer base that I personally had built up, and I hadn't taken a vacation in 3 years. And one of my customers accounted for 30% of my business.
Mm-hmm.
I took 3 days to take the kids to Disney in Florida. And while I was in Disney, my customer pulled all their business and started doing packaging in house. So instantly, 30% of my business was gone with one customer.
Yep.
Well, if you look at the opportunity here and you don't have revenue coming from one source, after that, I learned a lesson. I went out and got 5 times as many customers as I had,
Right.
packaging for a lot more people. So that if one of my eggs falls out of my basket, I still got a basket full of eggs, just not quite as full as it was.
Mm-hmm.
But when 4 out of a dozen eggs fell out of my carton, then I was in trouble. I mean, you still had your fixed expenses. You still had all your employees. You have to make adjustments. Where with this, the opportunities come in from every different direction, and you're not relying on just one thing.
Right.
And people need to understand that. The chance of having everything swept up from underneath you with one fell swoop is pretty
Mm-hmm.
slim. Pretty slim.
Yeah. And
So,
building an email list, and those are all your customers
right.
that
And
you now
spreading
can market anything to.
anything there, and they
And have
trust you.
conversations with through email. What an amazing opportunity.
Right.
They're all
Exactly.
yours.
Right.
They're yours.
And you've developed a relationship, and they trust you, and they'll listen to you, and you've helped them already, so they're ready for more help or whatever it is you're offering.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Amazing. So, what is your one piece of advice before we go that you give anyone that's just starting in the challenge right now?
you've got to commit to never quit. You've got to create consistent content. And if you can do those two things, like I said, the only way you lose is if you quit. At some point, you've got to make a decision. You've got to just burn the bridges behind you and just say, this is the direction I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And focus all your energies on making it happen and learning. I mean, it's all there, all in the blueprints. If you think about somebody that's taken a $2,500 course and turned it into a $250,000 a year business, explain
Wild,
that to me.
right?
Explain that to me, as Ricky Ricardo would say. Explain it to me, Lucy.
Right.
It's just you can't do it anywhere else. You can't, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just amazing. But creating consistent content and focusing on your victories.
Wow,
You
I love
using
that. And quitting just isn't an option.
right.
When you take it off the table as an option, you figure out a way.
Figure it out. Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today. You definitely need to come back. I know Dave would love to chat with you. So in the next couple months, let's have you back for sure. Okay.
I'd
And if
love to
we
come back.
haven't reached out to you, send me an email and or shoot Roxy an email, either one of us, and we will get you back on.
I'd
So
love to come back. I had a great time.
yeah, definitely. So you can follow Shannon on TikTok at Freedom Shannon. All connected, no dashes, no periods, just Freedom Shannon. Find him on TikTok. Thank you again, Shannon, for coming on.
Thank you,
Amazing
Joanne.
interview.
I had fun.
Yeah, me too. All right. If you missed any of the wisdom, advice, conversation that we had today, definitely go hit that replay button. Watch the entire episode. If you are somebody that is coming from a traditional brick and mortar, if you are someone that thinks that's the only and best way to start a business, this is the episode for you. Go back and watch that and see how you feel about what we talked about today. Tomorrow, we are back with another amazing guest and episode. I will see you then. Have a great Wednesday, everyone, and take action. Take care.